Hi, welcome to the pregame presser with Virginia Union University head football coach, Dr. Alvin Parker. He's going to be talking about the upcoming NCAA playoff game against Wingate. The game is at 1 p.m. on Saturday in Hovey Field here in Richmond, Virginia. Coach, I'm going to let you take over.
Not a lot to be said. I think it's that time of year that it's playoff football, and we were one of the 28 teams that got our name called this past weekend, and we feel good about it, and we're kind of ready to go. We had a real spirited cold practice today, but it was good. I told the guys at this point in the season it's a privilege to still be practicing. So those guys is out there bouncing around, having fun, and it was a normal Tuesday practice for us. So we felt good about that. And just getting used to this new opponent that we haven't faced, and kind of learning those guys and just kind of get all those guys ready. So that's kind of where we are right now.
All right, Steven, have you got any questions for Coach?
Yeah, definitely. So for sure, we'll talk about the playoffs, but just real quickly, talk about you guys, the season that you had. Obviously, you were named the coach of the year, Jada offensive player of the year. So many of those accolades. Just talk about you guys, being, what it's been like for you guys to come through and to get those accolades and to get those out of all the hard work that you put in and to see those fruits of your labor get recognized by the conference.
I think it was good. I think from the coach of the year standpoint, I felt good about that because it's something that you're selected by your peers. So anytime that the rest of the coaches in the league, vote and think things a certain way, it definitely recognizes, the accomplishments that you had during the season. So I'm proud of that. But it's kind of a team award for me, when you look at it, because I can never be the coach of the year without a great staff or a great team. So it's those guys' award really, because those guys really just do a great job of kind of just following, the plan that I usually lay out. So those guys, know that award is for them. But as far as all the other superlatives that we received in terms of, special teams player of the year with Brady Myers and offensive player of the year with Jada Byers, earned those guys earned those awards. So, they did work in those areas. So, I think Jada numbers speak for themselves, and what he's done, in the CIAA as well as in the nation, those are player of the year numbers. So definitely deserving. And Brady scored. I think the only person that was in front of Brady and scoring was Jada, so he did a lot of things in terms of, putting things to the upright for us and keeping us in games sometime and winning some games for us as well. So, and along with the other, I think 14 guys that were able to make it and were able to kind of get their name listed as being one of the best type of players in the conference. So, we feel good about it. Speaks volumes about the program, the type of players we bring here and the way that we're going. So, I'm happy about that one, Steve.
No doubt. And then obviously, you got the playoffs. You guys, pretty solidly coming in the last week, but you're kind of sitting idle. What was last week like, or last weekend like for you guys, just from the start all the way through to selection Sunday when you heard your name called and getting ready to play Wingate?
Well, we begin the week with kind of it being a little normal. We gave guys a couple of days off, but we also practiced a few days. But practice is always difficult when you don't know who you're preparing for. So, but what it did do, Steve, at the time was give us a chance to just better up on some things that we felt like we had to get better at. So that was the bye week for us, basically, in a sense. We had got some guys back healthy and able to get some guys back into this game that didn't play. So we feel good about that. But essentially it was a defunct bye week. So tighten up on a lot of stuff, make sure we had everything kind of in place, just to make sure we can make a playoff run.
I see Justice Miller here. Would you have any questions?
Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
Miller. I get how are you doing? I wanted to ask, so are you guys prepping for Wingate then, since they are a team that's seen the NCAA playoffs for the past 3 years now, going straight. How are you preparing for a team that's already seen a whole lot of
They, like you said, they've been here before. I think it's gonna be something new for all guys. Being in a different light. Playing against a different type of team. But I think what we've done since we've been here is play a bunch of good out of conference teams. So if you've been on this team for a couple of years, you've been in playoff type of football games, we feel like. So, but Coach Wright does a great job down there. He's been in the playoffs, I think, 3 of the last 4 years. So it's not going to be anything new for those guys. So, they're going to know kind of what to do. They're going to know how to move and do certain things. But it's going to be up to all guys to make sure they make the adjustment fast and be ready to play, but they get the same amount of time to prepare as we do. So, we feel good about our chances going into Saturday, but we know we're going to play against a good, tough football team.
Since you know that they are a good team and that they're probably preparing for you guys as well, are you any players? I mean, to surprise the team going into the playoffs?
Not a lot of surprises. I think, at this point in the year, all 28 teams that made the field are going to be good ball clubs. It's not going to be anybody that's here that's not supposed to be here, so to speak. So not a lot of surprises in terms of what these guys are going to expect. And I think the guys have done such a good job for us this season in terms of preparing and being ready. Whatever we ask those guys to do. That we get to this time of the year, I think those guys know what's expected of them. So again, we just feel good about everything leading up to Saturday. Today's just a Tuesday, and like I said, practice went good today, and we felt good about the beginning of the week for us. So again, we just know we're going to give us a good ball club. So we got to make sure we got everything tight and everything, all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted.
Yeah. Question, and maybe Jim can help us out. Do you know how many times you guys have hosted a playoff game, or when was the last time? I just know, you walk into the stadium, you see all the CIAA championships and things like that, and I just wondered, how I wanted to get your thoughts also on how good it feels to host a playoff game and how important it is to have that home field advantage in the postseason.
Well, Jim is a historian. If you ask these type of questions, he's gonna be on the phone with you all day long. But Jim brought it to my attention because when I was a player here, we never hosted a playoff game. So the times that we've hosted, it's been twice. We hosted one at Hubby Field, and we've hosted in City Stadium once. Which is on the other side of town, which is where Virginia used to have all their big games at. So, but Jim can kind of tell you a little bit more about that because, like I say, Jim schooled me on some of it. So, Jim, you the man.
Well, I tell you, I think it's a kind way of saying that Jim's old, but we have hosted twice. We have hosted first time in 1981 at City Stadium here in Richmond. We played Shippensburg. Unfortunately, we lost 40-27. Then in the second time, we hosted it at Hubby Field. We hosted, that was in 1990, and that was against Edinburgh, and we lost 38-14. I believe, I've got to make sure, but I think this is our 9th time going to the NCAA playoffs. And we have not won a playoff game, but we're hoping to change that this weekend.
Okay, good stuff. I appreciate that. Coach, just talk about, obviously, the opportunity that's ahead of you guys to make history again and to, really etch you guys' name, and continue to keep playing football. The CIAA has, had teams over the past decade that have advanced. So that's kind of where the bar is right now.
Absolutely. And to cross that bar, Steve, we're going to have to get past a good Wingate team. Those guys play a grand style of football. They have a quarterback that's been there a couple times. Their defense is outstanding. Those guys, rank high in the nation. You pop on the film, a bunch of guys running around making plays. So to get over that bar, we're gonna have to be ready. But I think this team doesn't shy away from any form of competition. Like I said, they're ready to play. And I think this Saturday, with it being a playoff type of game, not a playoff type of game, a playoff game, and being in that atmosphere, I think these guys will be ready.
And one more for me. Obviously, you focused on you guys, but obviously Fayetteville State also made the playoffs as well. Team, you guys played a tough game, and you guys came out and pulled out the win. Just talk about what that says about CIAA football, that you guys can get multiple teams in once again, and the strength of the league.
I mean, in the region, 7 teams can make it. So for 2 teams to come from one league, it's pretty daggone good. I think, everybody, the most that anybody's had in the field this year from any conference is 2. I think, 2 CIAA teams, 2 Gulf South teams, and 2 South Atlantic teams, and 1 SIAC team. So it speaks volume that you can be mentioned in that from a standpoint of just having competitive teams that can go on the national level and play. I cheered for us when we made it, when they announced us at the 4th spot. But I cheered as well when I saw Fayetteville make it too. I think Coach Hayes does a great job down there. He won the CIAA title, and that should mean a little something. What I'm saying? So I was glad to see their name get called too. So we talked earlier this week. So just called to congratulate them on winning the championship and getting that bid into the playoffs. So, I'm happy for those guys as well.
And just one correction, this is our 10th time going to the NCAA playoffs.
So you guys had a pretty phenomenal season overall. And even though we're still, going into playoffs, I wanted to ask, how do you feel, Coach, about what the team's accomplished? If there was anything that you guys hit with your goals that you were waiting to hit for a while now, or if there's anything that you guys didn't make it into your goals as far as the overall season?
I mean, we feel good right now. I think everybody's done such a great job, of just kind of performing to their highest level in terms of the players, and I think the coaches have done a great job of having these guys ready, So, I think everybody's done what I've asked them to do. And as the leader of any organization, that's probably, as much as you can ask, and they've done it at a high level. So I'm happy about that, but in terms of the goals, I think you kind of recalculate those when you're done playing. So when we finish it all, hopefully it'll be late in December sometime, we can kind of come back to the table and say, you know what, did we reach this goal, that goal? Because some of the goals that I probably felt like I set for the team probably wasn't high enough at this point for as good of a ball club that we have. So, we'll assess it when we're done playing. But right now I feel good about where we're at right now. So, that's all you can ask for as a head guy of a program.
Are there any other questions for Coach Parker?
Honestly, it's kind of hard because you guys nailed it this season. It's I don't even know what else to ask. All we can do is watch and see, huh?
I think the guys, like I said, the guys have done a great job. Everybody, on the admin here has done a great job. The coaches, everybody, So it was a goal. It's not necessarily just my goals. I think it's tied all into what the university does for us and what they, how hard they work to make sure we're in position with things and the effort that they give. So again, just thankful.
The game is at 1 p.m. on Saturday, November 19th in Hubby Stadium. And tickets are $15 general admission, $10 for students. And if you'd like to purchase tickets, you can go online at vuusports.com. If there's any other questions, we thank everybody for being here. Coach, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you for having us.